Welcome to another edition of Resilient Living Podcast, a show dedicated to improving quality of life for both people and planet through liberation and independence, moving you from surviving to thriving and living life on your own terms. My name is Adrian Babashoff, and welcome. This is episode 20, and this is Innovate Everything. And I really am excited about this one today because I know a lot of people are struggling right now. This is the second week of June 2021, and I know that people have been suffering and going through hard times for a long time now. And those are the people. Sometimes I ask myself, who are you appealing to? Who is your audience? I think my audience is really broad, that we have mostly the middle to upper middle class to the poor. But I think that even some people who are really high up may learn a few things from this show about resiliency and living sustainable and things of that nature. And all of those things, in order to improve your life, how does life get better? I'd ask you that question. Life gets better through innovations, through solving problems, right? We have problems. Well, what do we do with that problem? What do we put in its place? How do we replace it? This is where I came up with the term alternative lifestyle design. Lifestyle design is exactly the way it sounds. For those of you who don't know, it's designing your life. What do I do with my money? What do I do with my happiness, my health, my spirituality, whatever you want to do? What do I put in its place? Well, a very smart person would look around and go, well, what's offered to me? Because right out the gate, when we're born, there's things being offered to us, right? This is go pay taxes, go get a job, get married, have kids, buy a house, get into debt. And we're never really taught about what debt is and what good debt, bad debt, good debt is, assets, liabilities, spirituality. Am I going to be happy? Before I have a kid, am I ready to have a kid? Maybe I should save some money first. Maybe, all of these different aspects of life. So that's where I'm coming from. And the very first one is my kids wanted to get a cat. And we live in a simple, tiny house area in an RV, stationary RV living is what we do full time. We don't move around and everything like that. So we're in a neighborhood and there's lots of different cats running around there. So my fear was that if we do get a cat, first of all, I'm going to be the one who has to feed it, right? Take it. I have vet bills. Just as I said, before I get an animal, what's the cost on this thing? The maintenance. Should I get insurance on this thing? What if it gets into a fight and gets an eyeball ripped out? How much is food cost? How much does food cost for a cat every month? Can I put that in my budget? Can I afford that? Should I go through all that? How much time does a cat need? I used to have a dog. I'd walk a dog 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening. That took an hour out of my day. Safe to say that there was probably more time. I know there was more time than an hour per day. We add that up 7 days a week. That's probably a 9 to 10 hour of my week out. That's more than an entire workday, right? So we wanted to figure these things out. So what I did as a test is I went and got myself, it's called Temptations too. I don't know. I didn't research or nothing, but I just saw it, Temptations, and cats can't resist it. I'm like, okay, got some of those, and I started feeding the animals around my neighborhood. So granted, every species knows what Yum Yums is. All the cats started ending up at my place, and my kids got really excited and started petting them. And then I went and bought myself a nice good sack of cat food, and I told my daughter, I says, well, if you can prove to me you'll be responsible enough to feed these cats, then maybe we'll consider getting our own cat. So you see what I did? I improvised. Now what we have, it's about a year later, the male cats did come in and they beat the hell out of each other. And we've down to one who's dominated the area, and it sleeps with my daughter and everything. It comes over and visits and then goes back to its home whenever it wants. Getting quite plump too, by the way. So what I've essentially done is borrowed somebody else's animal, and we're getting joy and everything off of it. And it's not quite our cat, but what my daughter hopefully has learned is that she wants to take off for the weekends. Well, when you have a cat, you can't take off for the weekends, or you better set something up for that cat. What if you're gone and the cat gets beat up, or you need to have a kitty door? There's all these things to take into consideration. So lo and behold, who's feeding the cats most of the time? Moi. So it worked, but I innovated. I had no loss is what I wanted to show you guys. I'm going to run through these quickly because we only have 15 minutes. A lawn mowing route. One of my friends is going to start, or acquaintance wants to start something. And I came up with this idea, and I actually implement all the things I'm going to tell you today. Pretty much all of them, unless I'll disclose if I haven't implemented them. I've already done. So what I did is gave this to this person, is my idea. I went down to my neighborhood at my house, and I went knocking on doors, door to door, my neighbors. And some of them I didn't even know. I knocked on the door. They says, hello. I says, can I help you? I says, yes, I'm your neighbor that lives right down the street, right there at that house. Gave him my address. I'm looking to start a possible lawn mowing, a lawn maintenance system. They says, well, I already have somebody. I said, well, can I ask you how much they charge? And they says, well, $80 a month. I says, what does that entail? They says, like trimming some trees every once in a while, spraying for bugs or this or that. And I says, cool. Well, what if I could tell you I could do it for 70? Because I live right down the street. Because I'm going to do your neighbor's house and their neighbors and the neighbors and neighbors and neighbors. I can actually drop that price. He said, that's fantastic. When you can start? I says, I'm not sure yet. I got to get the whole neighborhood first. Went door to door. Some people slammed the door in my face. Some people said, no, I already have somebody. But the majority, I would say like 80% of them said, you mean you're going to charge me cheaper, like $10? And if I ever have a problem, you're right across the street or down the street. Yeah, we're in. So you see the innovations of these things. I could literally dominate. If I didn't have a truck, I wouldn't need anything. I could literally put a leaf blower, a broom, a dustpan, and an edger on top of my lawnmower, go and mow a lawn. From one side, I can go from probably 3 houses in a row, dump the lawn clippings, go and edge everything with my weed eater, blow everything into a pile, sweep it all up, throw it in their trash can, put everything on top of my cart and go. I don't even need a car. I can literally, and grocery stores are right down. If literally worst case scenario, I literally can get by, make money, and probably really good money without even owning a car and doing better for my environment. Next is solar cleaning. And what's happening right now, I am not a landscaper. I am actually a roofing contractor, painting, and all kinds of things like that. What we have is inflation. We have prices of material and everything going up. So I just kept sitting there racking my mind. Well, dang, the materials is definitely going to slow things down, I predicted, and it has to a certain extent. And then I started looking at solar panels while I'm sitting on the roof, and they're all over the place. Here in San Diego, Southern California. And I looked and I says, well, soap couldn't be that expensive and water's not that expensive. And come to find that you actually can wash solar panels with DI water, deionized water, which leaves it completely spotless. And you have to buy a brush that's powered, that makes things a lot faster than scrubbing with a brush, right, with soap and water. This thing literally has no soap, so it's completely environmentally friendly. It does the work in literally like a tenth of the time, you know, and what is the product? It's water. And basically the client, I hook up my water hose to from their house into my DI tank, and the water gets pushed up through a machine, and lo and behold, I scrub skylights, and that's it. There's nothing. All I had to do is spend gas. So what I'm talking about here is I have zero materials, very low. I think it's like $40 a month to rent a deionized filtration tank. So do you see the innovations of business, money, everything? I mean, take what I'm saying right now and utilize this into your happiness, your money, your spirituality, your education, everything. Everything could be modified. It just needs to be innovated, right? I charge more with here's the thing I looked at. Well, there's a lot of competition. Okay, there's a lot of competition. Most roofing contractors, all roofing contractors, I did my research, are not looking to clean solar panels. I don't think they're even aware of it or think that there's no money in it. What we do have is a lot of people who aren't roofers that are insured. They have workers' comp and they have liability insurance, some of them. They don't really need to have it. And they're doing jobs for, say, $100, $150 per skylight wash, for a whole house. Well, these people don't have the experience that I do. If they break a roofing tile or a shingle or the roof starts to leak because of something they did, they're not able to fix it. And I guarantee you they don't have the workers' compensation and general liability such as I do, because mine's through the ceiling, especially here in Sunnyside, California. Thank you, California. So what's happening is a lot of these people I did a test run again, door to door, made some door hangers, and told them, well, I offer this for $250. I offered $100 more. They always say, well, why is that? I said, well, I'm a trained professional, 30 years in business, over 30-something years of business. And if anything happens to your roof, I will fix it. If there's any leaks or anything, if I see anything throughout the lifetime, because I will be here twice a year working on your roof, such things as pigeon dung or, a cracked roofing tile or some sealants or anything like that, I can keep an eye and pretty much babysit your roof. Sounds good. When can you start? Innovations. You would think that I wouldn't be able to afford to do that, but actually, in contrast, what the market wants, what the people want is something completely different. My daughter, to get exercise, it's very difficult. She's getting a little chubby, my younger one. Doesn't want to exercise. So what did I do? We go to the park. I grab one of her favorite toys and I take off running. She says, I stole your toy. Ha ha ha, it's mine. She goes, give that back to me. I says, no, it's mine. I'm going to throw it in the river. And I take off running and, she's playing. She's laughing. So she's chasing me around and I keep avoiding her. And then I give her I drop the doll. I pretend I do. She picks it up. I says, give me my toy. She's special needs for those of you who are following me. And I run after her and she's giggling and getting a crack out of it. And she's just trying, and I'm chasing her. And we're doing this for like 20 minutes, full blown cardio. I'm getting exercise. My daughter's getting exercise. We're losing weight. We're getting, like I said, cardio. We're also playing with each other. We're implementing play. Endorphins in our mind are being released. And we're bonding. There's so many, we're stacking functions, as I love to teach in the show, to share in the show. I don't know whether it's teach, share, whatever. I got to figure that one out. But you guys see where I'm going? My oldest daughter, one of our things is going to eat sushi. She said we went to a thrift store, secondhand store, and it was my youngest daughter's birthday, so I bought her a little purse, for like $4 or something. My oldest daughter found this pair of boots she really, really wanted. I've been teaching her, as I said in yesterday's podcast, we need to plant the seed and we need to inform people and show them how systems think. So my daughter says, I really want these boots, Dad. Can you buy them for me? And I says, well, they're $14. Those are expensive. We're going to go eat sushi. Wouldn't you rather have a roll of sushi? Because I'd rather have these boots. Hint, hint. I says, well, we can't, baby. We're going to spend a lot of money today. So as we're walking out to the car, she turns to me and says, Dad, I got a solution. I'll forfeit my roll of sushi for those boots. I says, not only are you going to get your roll of sushi, but you'll get your boots too for using the innovations. I had a roof inspection. Somebody who called me, a client, and they said they wanted their house that they were bidding on to buy, but they wanted to know what the condition of the roof was. I said, well, I have to charge you some money, $250. And they says, well, that's a lot of money. I said, well, it's a lot of money for gas, and we'll come with a full-blown video, written report, photographs, and everything you can present to the buyer or anybody who's of any interest. And I can point all the bad things, the good things, and all that. It's just going to take me some time. And they said, well, yeah, I don't know. I'll just maybe wait and take my chances. And I says, well, what do you do for a living? And they says, they're a financial advisor. I says, I could use some financial advisement. Why don't we do a barter? I think I'm getting the better end of the stick. So you give me about 4 hours or so, or whatever, 2 hours of consultations, and I'll give you a roof inspection. Trade, no taxes, no dollars, and everybody's getting something great. Innovations. We're eating a lot of time over here. This one might be a little strange, but this is my youngest daughter's, well, both of my kids, I'd like to say. And we never did this, by the way, but I thought this was something beautiful. Women have their menstrual cycles. They have their moon cycles, as some people like to say. And what I taught my kids was that, I'm going to have to end with this one because this one's going to take some time. What I taught my kids is not be embarrassed. I grew up, I'm the oldest, and I have 4 sisters, and have been around a lot of females a lot of my life, and it seems like a lot of women are embarrassed about these things, and society deems that we should, hide these things, and that these things are bad and wrong and weird and not fit for, and I looked at this thing, as you guys can probably tell, everything gets turned around on its head. Everything gets done different. So, my daughters, and everybody told me, what are you going to do? Being a single dad, of course, too. What are you going to do when they get on their periods? And I says, we talked about it. And when they did, I was like, wow, see, you're not going to die. Everything's normal. And in fact, I looked, and again, we didn't implement this, but I said, let's do this the reverse. Why don't we tell everybody that you're on your menstrual cycle, on your moon cycle? Let's tell the family, and let's actually throw a party. If I haven't lost you guys already, follow me and listen to how beautiful this is. I would invite all the women. We'd light a bonfire or something and put some music, and it's another reason to have to make a bunch of food and drink and dance, right? Get some music and some fire pit and get all the men where we can all kind of, leave the women alone for a minute. And I thought would be cool is if my mom and my grandparents, if they're still alive, and my sisters and aunts and everybody like that, and friends of the family would all sit down with this young person, and they would tell them about what they do, how to stay clean, and how maybe in history, like how did the Native American Indians deal with these things, and a survival situation, could you use such things as like moss and things like that to help hold things, and just the beauty of it. And what is it? There's so much crazy stuff. There's 12 moon cycles of the year, people. There's 12 menstrual cycles for a woman. There's these similarities, these crazy things that happen, and this is when the baby could be born, right? This is when a baby, well, not born, but could be inseminated in inception. And these are just wonderful, crazy things that I think that we should bring out, and how horrible it is for an individual to feel ashamed of themselves for anything in life, in my book. That's why we have the alternative lifestyle design. And I would turn this around to where this young person, this kid, could actually be educated, and then also to know that you're not alone. Even though we know we're not alone, but having that connection at that party would be like, wow, so mom and everybody, yeah, and they're all talking and gave great advice. And maybe even those people would learn something from the other people, right? Some different tricks of the trade, whatever have you. So, and the men are aware, and this is just a fascinating thing of a girl becoming a woman, and it should be celebrated in my book. But we do things so backwards. It's the way we have to innovate everything. So again, I've gone past 15 minutes. Guys, if I brought you guys any value, please like, subscribe, review. I need reviews. I need subscribers to actually get this show out there and on, so that we can continue to do them. I have to pay to do these things. So I'm hoping to get maybe a sponsor or something to at least just take care of the bills to keep the lights on here. But you can do your part if I brought you, and only if I brought you value. Like, subscribe, review, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, and better yet, comment if there's something that you guys feel that could be innovated, or you guys just something specific you guys want to hear, a topic. It's Resilientlpodcast at gmail.com. Everything's in the description below. And you guys, as I always say, go out there and have yourself a near-life experience. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire. And human up, my friends.